Before you quit, then let's have a talk. Let's do this analysis and you will be more confident on what you do. We all go through this emotion, and at some point you're like, what am I doing? I've done it so much. I've given all my sweat, my blood, and I'm like bleeding all over, and I'm feeling like I'm wasting my time, and I'm like putting a lot of energy and stuff out there, and I'm still empty. If it feels like it's a dead end, you tried so much, you're doing the music for years and you're like, I don't know if I should continue. Like, should I continue? Like, should I just stop making music? Do I need a personal break of it? Or what is the next step? How can I become better at it? Why am I so depressed about making music all the time? These emotions are so valid, and I think it has like a core problem we're about to uncover. We're about to find out what it is, so we can move on and do the things we actually want to do. Welcome to my channel. My name is Victoria. I'm making my first album about emotion wounds that became my strength, and now I'm taking you along with me on this journey, what I'm uncovering, what I'm learning. That is why I'm also making these talking sessions, so you will learn with me what I've learned, and hopefully it helps you to ease your mind along the way. If you've been like me, wanting to speak with other artists, then I made a Discord group where we can connect, make collaborations together, do music, have sessions together. It's really my goal that you don't have to be alone in this field, that you can share your art, do it together. Check Vicky's Art Collective out. It's a free channel. You can join it in Discord. Before you start quitting, and you consider quitting at all, then please consider this exercise before you quit anything, because we do sometimes decisions we regret and we can't go back. So we want to make the right decision and realize what is the actual cause of this pain. I want to shift our focus to find the core problem, because I think everything comes to this. If you look at it as a problem, we can solve it. It means there's a way we can look at it, we can analyze it. It's less emotional, but it gives us clarity. Our mind has a lot of information all the time, and we get confused what we want in the end. We start to solve it as a problem. How would we do it? We state the problem, which you already have done, but I'm gonna do it for the example aid, so we will get ready to understand the whole concept of it. So first, I have a X problem. I have done this and this, and now I feel and see that this is not working, and that is why I feel like I wanna stop this. So this is the example sentence. You already have stated to yourself that, okay, I feel like bad, I want to quit because I'm really drained. Every time I make music, I feel overwhelmed, and I feel like I've done it so many years, and I really put out, I don't know how many songs, X amount of songs, like 20 songs, and I feel like I'm still not good in it, and I've been trying so hard, but it's still somehow it's hard for me, and I feel like I just want to stop doing it because maybe it's not meant for me. After we state the actual issue, because I think usually it's just the feeling, but if we state it, okay, I've done X amount of things, I've done this, this, and this, and that's why I feel this way. You need to first face it. Okay, that's the situation, and I think that's what you're doing. That's a good thing. It's good that you're facing it now, because that helps us to get to the root cause faster, and that's really important if we try to solve this pain, this feeling, this problem in our life. The next step is finding the problem, and that is where we dive deep into it, and that's the place where we reflect inwards. Oftentimes we do something because we liked it in the beginning, then we decided that, oh, it's so exciting, I want to share it, I want to just do music, I want to be like Bruno Mars, I want to be like Lady Gaga, I want to be like that. A really amazing big goal, guys. You want to be a singer, you want to be a producer, you want to be a DJ, that's so cool. But you want to do it because you love it, and you were like, I don't know, you decided it when you were 18, maybe 20, 21, 22, 23. You decided in that time. The frustration makes sense that it comes with years, is because you started, you did it for 7 years, and there's no gratification, right? You have been putting stuff out there, you've been singing lives, you've been doing all of this stuff, and it feels like no one notices me or you. I think this moment is the best moment ever to grow. Best moment you can transform and grow into the new superhuman. This moment is really crucial because I think these are the moments that either break you or make you better. And that's why I think it's a blessing you feel that way, because that can help you to thrive forward and learn something. Now that we accepted and look into our problem and we were like, okay, yes, I get it. I've been doing everything and I don't get gratification, nothing happens. Let's start in the beginning. Think about how this feeling made you feel. Like, really, like, close your eyes, try to feel it. Okay, when I started, I felt so alive. I felt like I can speak my truth. I felt like I'm finally myself. I felt like I am part of music, you know. Everything you feel is important, because I feel like if you do it long term, you forget the momentum, you forget the feeling, what you felt in the beginning. It just kind of gets lost in a moment because we've been so focused on a goal. I mean, and we've been like, you know, hitting the same tree, but it's not with a stick, and we know that it will not break because the stick is not for breaking a tree, you know. What made you think that you want to take it seriously? And that question is really important, because that's the root where you started. People have different reasons why they started. Believe me, for some people it can be like, I love music, I want to share what I'm feeling. Some people's like, I feel like I can speak my voice through it, which was for me, it's like I found that, oh, I can finally tell something, I can finally like speak something that has been hard for me to speak, you know. And some people, it's just a form of entertainment. They feel like, it's really in me, you know. I feel like a confident person, it's meant to be me. And whatever reason it is, that's where it started. Why I'm asking these really simple questions, but are really important ones, because everything starts with something. And when it starts with something, it means it leads to something. But because most of the time we start without the vision, we start without the actual thing why we start because it just feels, then the main driver of your music making or whatever you're making is a feeling. So when the feeling is lost, and when the hard work begins, or where you have to push through, there comes this stagnation, there comes this feeling of, I can't breathe anymore, let me out. And I think that's why it's important to go back to the start. I think the hardest truth is like, in the beginning, what did we do? What are the steps we have been doing? Like, is this a changing, growing steps forward, or are they stagnant, or are they same, stuck, you know, feeling bad steps? Then most likely, if you don't change anything, the things push back. They're just there to stop you and hold you back because you're still staying the same. I will give you a good example. Let's say you've been practicing singing every day and you've been posting them in social media all the time, but there's no other change than just posting it. And maybe sometimes you're not regularly even posting. This one action that you've been doing sometimes can give you the success. I'm not saying you're doing too little, but admitting that maybe I've been doing less than I deserve, because that's important. Because if you are worth it, then you will do everything you can in your possibility to give your best to get this thing you actually want. Which leads me to this point: do you know actually what you want? And I think that's where everyone is kind of vague about it. I just want fame, I just want money, I just want to live with it. This is not an actual goal. And I think you also heard about it when they talk about it. If you want something, you gotta be it, you gotta do more. So if you do more, then you become it, and then somehow it embraces you, like somehow it becomes you if you are it, if that makes sense, right? So what did you expect? What did you really wanted to happen? Like, what's the thing? Did you want like 1,000 followers? Did you want like a lot of likes? Did you needed 1,000 people cheering for you or screaming your name? Like, what was the thing that you actually wanted? And I think like we don't even know what we want, and I think that's important, because if I know my goal in a way, I'm more calmer in a sense that I know the right steps to go. If you buy a land and then you will start to build your house because you need a house, it's a different, it's like a need, it's like, oh, I just need a house. Then you start to put bricks on top of each other, but it just collapses because you don't know the fundamentals, you don't know how the house is even built, you don't know what goes in a house. Like, you could maybe make a little like square somehow, make it up, but there's so many nuances. Just like baking a cake or whatever you do, there's so many like ingredients and stuff we have been ignoring. We've been like, no, I don't need this, I want to just swing it. You know, we usually want to swing it because we're like, we're really comfortable being where we are, we just don't want to like go to that side, you know. But that's actually where the growth happens, and the moment you stop learning, it's the moment you are stagnant, you don't grow into something. That is why I think like mindset is really important. In order for me actually also is to do more, what I learned is I need to actually face and understand myself, like what is the actual things that drive me, like what do I need. Often we are chasing a feeling or something we never got in our childhood, because for me it was definitely that I had a voice in music, that I could speak finally. I felt like I couldn't really be myself, I couldn't really show myself as I am, and I felt like music and writing was my way of like expressing it truly, what was in my mind. And I feel like that's what it is usually. It's like you start as a child, you had a vision that, oh, I love singing, and you see it as this big pop stars, like, oh my god, they're so cool, I want to be like them. But you don't realize that actually they're incremental steps or the mindsets that actually help you to get there. But you're not there because you're your own like stopper. If you think about like as a child, you couldn't really think bigger because it was just the feeling what you were chasing. And even in our adulthood, we're all chasing this feeling or something that was missing, unless we stop, unless we be like, wait, what's going on, what do I want, why am I feeling this way, why is this so important to me that I'm so anxious and I just can't be with myself. Like, there's so many nuances in it, there's so much to reflect on. I feel like, of understanding, okay, that has changed, the story has changed, the story how I started is a start, it's a good, you started with a feeling, but now I feel like if you're growing, it's good to redefine what it is actually too. I feel like we're all so stuck in just getting famous, just getting money out of everything we want to do, which is awesome. But if we think where the music came, how the music was shared in our history, it's to tell a story, it's to connect, it's to find what others also are feeling. And through music, we've been able to tell stories through decades, and I think that's really cool and magical. And we have forgotten that music is not just for us, and we have become so self-absorbed that, oh, I just want this, I just want that, which is a great thing. But I feel like if we only live for that, then we forget that there are a lot of other people who also need your music. And maybe you've been holding yourself back so much that you're not open enough to learn that there are perhaps people who need your music. It's just you haven't like overcome yourself in order to show what's actually needed in the world. I'm just gonna put in a better sentence. Music is really different in each person, but I feel like for me it's really important to remain the enjoyment, to remain the momentum. And I think why you've been feeling frustrated is because the enjoyment is gone. Like, you're not in the moment anymore. You have like done it so many times, you're so sick of it that you're like, I don't know why I do music anymore. You need a new reasons. Music is universal, music is everywhere, and I feel like it's your expression, it's your way to heal, and if like we shouldn't close it off. But I'm not here to convince you to, if you want to quit it, then quit music. But I feel like music is anyway there. But that leads me to this important section, the potential outcomes. Really, really huge thing. Before we do any decision, like a big decision that we're gonna regret, I always ask myself, is like, if I'm like 60 years old and I look back at myself, what I wish I would have done, or if would I regret that decision what I made at a time that I felt like it? Most likely you will regret it. You will be like, why did I stop? Why did I stop living? You know, where did my life go? Where did I throw myself into? Like, and I think that is actually finding the root of it. Okay, maybe you've been doing years music that's not you. Maybe you've been focusing on some other things that just may be distant of you, and the other people or some things don't support you that way, that make you connect with yourself, and that's why like you kind of enjoy music now. Maybe you can't even enjoy walking just normally in the street because it stresses you out. You can't enjoy life. So let's start with, if I quit. If I quit, what would happen? I mean, there's many possibilities. Just like think for yourself, like, okay, if I really quit, like there's a possibility I will miss music and I will start doing it again. But then I'm again scared I will get the same crazy emotion and the depressed feeling and so on. There is also possibility that if I quit, I will never know if I will make it, if I had even a chance to make in the music industry. Or if I quit, then maybe I will regret it. There's so many things I could say there because I think quitting is not an option for me, but because I think music is universal. And I think that's something that just lives in us. And we need to be open to receive it, open to give, and see what's needed. I feel like we are so stuck in your younger self who decided to make a decision that we're gonna be a singer or artist, that we limit ourselves to be more. What I mean by that is like, we are like, you know, I want this, I want everyone to sing on my songs or something. It's like me, and me. Everything I want is me, you know? But if you look a little bit wider, and you're gonna see, what do actually people need? And I feel like that's been like the like biggest realization for me, is like being stuck in this first version of myself that was like a child, you know, that was like, oh, I love doing music, or I want to share it and I hope that it helps others, but also I want to give something. I want to give something that people can relate to and they can sing along and cry their heart out if they need to. And I feel like that changes the focus. I'm not saying that you need to live for others. I'm saying that you need to realize that it's like posting. It's like people will choose what they will like. You are not the people, they are the people. And your customers, whatever, your people who are gonna love you, the people who are gonna, your ride or die, they're people gonna support you. They're gonna have different reasons why you would support yourself. And I think that's important because everyone needs something else. Even if you have created like a structured plan, how you want to tell people, you want to like speak to them, you want to like share the truth, there's still adaptability needed. I mean, because like I said, like the people choose you, you don't choose people. That's how it is, that's how the consuming is, and that's how it works. Like we can't go against it. I mean, you can't really like force yourself onto people, and that's what it is. And I think if you understand it and accept that, then you know that, oh, what can I actually give? What are people actually needing? You can ask it, you can like, I don't know, look around, what is missing in the world, and then somehow shape yourself. And I feel like that adaptability is the thing that we forget as people, is because we get so comfortable and we're like, oh, but I've been doing this for years, I've been doing this way. But that's how you feel burned out. You stopped growing. You can think what they need, but what they need is what they choose. Another scenario, if I continue, there's a possibility my pain will continue. I'll be more miserable. I will have a mental breakdown. I will break something. I don't know, I will do to something bad. Could happen, anything could happen, but it's really what we want. But think about that. If we are at workplace and we want to quit, we have a data why we want to quit, because they don't pay us well, you know. I don't get the same return as I give, and it makes sense that we stop giving and going away from it. But before you quit, you collect data, you really evaluate the situation. That's why we're doing it, because we're evaluating this decision. And it is a big one, because you've been doing it so long, and you started it and you're taking it seriously, but it feels a bit rough and you just don't know if you should continue. Then I think it's really important to evaluate it, to look into and reflect a little, become real with yourself. Like, okay, what now, you know? And if we know that our brains need something back just as we work for something, then maybe you should give yourself something back. Maybe you have stopped really being in it. There's also a chance that after this video, or after this breakdown, or this sadness, or these moments where you feel like everything is not working, that is getting better because you've chosen so, because you have accepted the emotion and be like, okay, I hear you, okay, what can we do? And I think that's the realest love you can give to yourself. It's like, I respect you, my emotions, okay, I'm not happy with it, because you need to be able to say, I'm not happy with it, what can I do? And I think that's the moment, like, you can seek, like, what am I missing, like, what should I add to my repertoire? Maybe I need to learn something new. You could start falling in love with the music, and I think that's amazing when you continue, and you don't know it if you don't try. It's really hard to sometimes accept that you've been doing something and you have become close-minded about it. It's like the thing I did, like, I've been writing like 7 years, like, songs, if not even more, and I think I have like 500,000 songs already written. I still needed to learn. That's the thing. No matter how genius or amazing you think you are, or how much you know, it's like there's always room to grow. And I feel like we close ourselves because we're so comfortable the way we are, and we don't want to even look at it. I felt like little friction before. I was like googling, okay, how can I write a little better lyrics, you know? What am I missing in my songs? What makes the song like good, actually? And I feel like that's the reflection I was so afraid to do, because I didn't want to like admit to myself, yeah, I've been making bad stuff. Not like fully bad, because it was a moment where I healed, it was a moment where I was, and I actually felt it. It's not like ultimate bad, but that's why it comes to like what is actually working. We don't have to go against the grain, but we don't have to do the same thing too. But we can still do something unique and be ourselves, and say at the same time it can go on to other people, because it's in a different way said, but it's still said in a way that others can grasp it, because I think that's important. Information has to be grasped, understood somehow, you know, gets into their brain or their head so they can understand it. Or maybe you're like me, like you're so stuck in this vision, like you have seen, like you've been performing on the stages, you've been doing this and that. I have like this, you know, manifestation in my head, like the meditation, what I'm doing, and I'm not doing it. I'm like, okay, Victoria. And it's like, it's also like stopping you, because I feel like you need to be free to receive it. And now we're getting to the part after we evaluated everything, we accept the truth. We're like, okay, maybe the truth is I haven't really been open-minded enough to learn certain things, and I've been really closed in certain areas, and I could grow into some things I actually can be curious about. Because I think like gratification also comes from like things you learn. I also get like this, I don't know if how you do experience, like you get this like hits in your head, oh my god, that was so cool what I learned. And I feel like that's what it's missing. If you're always looking for external validation and you stop everything because of it, then you're living for others only. But actually that can also show that you don't believe in yourself enough. And that's why the self thing is a really huge thing. Now we get to the solution and the next step part. Really, really crucial, because you can really change if you don't really do anything about it. If you just still go after this to the same feeling and you start to do music at the same feeling, the same way, then you're just gonna be in it. You're gonna feel the same, and that's what it is. We already covered some parts of it. I already talked about like the universal language of music, like what it actually can be. Maybe you need a new definition and all of these things. And I think if you explain those things to your mind starts to be more calmer. I feel like we have so much storage, so many thoughts. I feel like we have so many thoughts in our head that sometimes we are just over cluttered, and that's why the anxiety, overwhelming feeling comes, and then we're like, okay, we don't want to do any of that anymore. And that is why I started with starting with the beginning where it started. What was the thought process when you started of it? Because now maybe you need to go to that feeling again. Why did I start it? I actually need to learn maybe to fall in love into music again and step into this, like, I actually loved music, I really loved expressing these parts, really going to the essence of it, why you started, but with new fresher vision, with an open-minded and open-minded ended open-minded way. Then I think that already helps us to realize what do I actually need to do. That helps you think, okay, maybe I need to write about new genre. Maybe I need to try new genres. Maybe I need to learn, the alphabet. Maybe I need to learn again how to do it. And refreshing our mind and reminding stuff is a good thing. We don't do it in our life. If we grow older, we're like, okay, we just know everything. But actually, you can know it. Yes, you do. But I feel like it's like with everything. If you don't practice a language you learned as a second language or third language, you just forget it. You don't really speak it anymore. You're just like, oh my god, I don't know what was this word. And that's what it is. When I lived abroad for a long time, my Estonian was bad. Like, I still speak like, we call it like Estonglish. I speak like Estonian English mix because like I'm really used to speaking English. So it's like it came with time when I found again the confidence to be like, okay, I can still speak in my mother tongue. It's just that I'm not used to it. It's the practice, it's the basics. If we go to the basics, then we found the key to elevate to the next level stuff. And that's how I think you will find your professionalism, and that actually elevates you and makes you better. You can actually give, not that you're like, oh, give me the recognition I desire. If you demand it, you will not get it. Maybe if you are some authority, blah blah blah, but I don't really think it's sustainable, and I think it's not good for you either. I think the thing that goes lost, like I was highlighting a lot of times, is the moment. We stop living in a moment, and that's where the things just go away. That's why I talk about like learning to enjoy music again, learning to fall in love into it, because the moment, it's even in our daily lives, I feel like we forget to be in a moment. Like I've been sometimes so focused on like the future that I'm like so anxious about it because I feel like I'm not there. And that's the place we don't want to be. We can be there sometimes, but not always, right? Because it doesn't really make us to live our lives. What you're gonna look back, like you're gonna look back, why did I live so miserable life when actually I had so many chances, I had so many ways I can like live my life, but I was limiting myself. And that's what you're doing also to yourself. You're limiting yourself by your own thoughts, your own things you're doing, and it's time to spread the wings. And I think that's why it's so amazing you googled about it or you found this video, because you're actually thinking about it. Do I really want to do it or not? Is this a feeling that's been thriving me or not? Because feelings are not really sustainable in anything if you think about it. But if I know I can help my feelings along the way, if I know that I'm a person who needs gratification, who needs to be recognized, then maybe I can find it in different places. Maybe I can find it from my close people, but maybe not really close people, but maybe loved one or whatever. Or giving it to myself also is a huge thing. You need to like learn to clap at yourself. It's like taking yourself on a date. I also talked about in another video. It's like you take yourself on a date because you deserve it, you're worth it. I feel like now it's like a best time to redefine everything, like redefining, okay, now what does music actually mean to me? How do I actually see music? What I've learned along the years. We sometimes don't take it inventory of our lessons, and I feel like they all go to waste. And if you look at the lessons, then maybe I can teach others, I don't have to always think about me. I can be like, hey, don't do these mistakes I did, and I think these lessons are really powerful for others and for also yourself. Sometimes it's a reminder when you speak them out loud, and when you put it out there, you're like, oh my god, I really said that, wow. And you look back at sometimes, oh, maybe I should listen it now again myself, and I think we do need direction, but becoming like this with that is never a way. So that's why I'm like having like a new way of thinking of it. It's more of like I want it, but I'm taking like daily actions towards it, you can say. I'm taking like daily actions towards it, and at the same time I give the freedom for it to grow on me, because let me tell you, I didn't plan to start YouTube, but since I started, I think it has grown me, and I'm so excited to share my journey. And I think that has been really cool for me. And I think this is the part when you have to be like open to be like, okay, maybe I will try this also and see how it feels like. Because sometimes we're so stuck in like, we should do this, but we don't realize that there are other areas that actually make this thing better, and we don't know it because we don't try. And I think little try is okay. So the action plan is I need to learn more about writing a new song. I need to learn more about the C major stuff and how they will work together, because I haven't learned about it. That's actually for me. But it's like these little things, and also thinking about maybe I need a teacher. I feel like we do so much alone. We're like, we're the superhuman, I can do everything. At some point it's really important that you are the vehicle. It is important that you drive the vehicle and you believe in yourself, you are worth it. But if you look the biggest artists or the best movies, whatever has been created is with a big team, a lot of money, you name it. And then I think that's why like it's important to connect with others, sometimes do collaborations. I don't know, find a singing coach, teacher, go to venues, find other artists, like connect with others. And I feel like that can also help you. That's a little harder because I'm also doing it, but I think the more I talk with others, I feel like, yeah, we're in this together. Like we love art, and I don't think art as competition at all, because of the fact that it's something sacred. I feel like everyone has their own explanation what is music to them, but for me it's like it's just a language, it's a way to speak, connect, and make each other better together. It's good to find like the new why, like why do I actually want to do it, like what is actually needed in the world. As I was saying, like it's not about you, it's about the other end of it, who is receiving it, what do they need. Maybe it was younger you're talking, or you're talking to yourself what you needed, and maybe someone needs that too. That's also a good way to test what works, and once you find it, you understand like what frequency or what way you are as a person. This getting fame and quick and getting money quick is like always like making us feeling smaller, and I feel like that's why I want this section also in here, is because we're always told to be more, to get more likes, to be more, but I feel like at some point we should start to tell ourselves we are worth it, we are already enough, we don't need to be more, we just need to enjoy what we're doing, we need to be here. You're doing still to others, but you're doing with a fuller cup, you're doing because you found something interesting, you want to share something because it has helped you. And I think that's really cool. It makes also others feel like they can do it. knowing that I'm not alone in this world. That's a good thing that you're not alone in this world, because you can connect with each other and you can grow together. And that's a good thing because we are such species. So perhaps it is you need to learn to be gentle with yourself. Learn to say good things, that hey, this song I sang, I think it was beautiful. I enjoyed it. And that's enough. And I don't need anyone to, say that I was good, because I knew what I felt and then what it meant for me. And I feel like we forget it, and that's how we lose the enjoyment. We lose the oh, I just love music. It is deeper than that. It is something important. Becoming specific and helping yourself, boosting yourself, redefining things is crucial to continue the next steps, to continue this interesting journey and interesting things. And perhaps you're missing a little growth, and that's it. Perhaps you just need to take little steps at a time, and that's all you need. Every day a little bit better. And it can be also a way for you to enjoy life in general. Or you need to start to accept the different emotions of life, that they come and go, but the important thing is, what is my next step ahead? I hope you don't quit on your passion, yourself. You never give up on yourself, because you are worth it. You are a beautiful human being who is trying so hard and who is exposing themselves to the world all the time with bravery. Even if they're scared, you're showing up, and I think this is amazing. You're strong, you can do it, you can continue, and I know you will get it at some point, whatever you think you really want out of it. But just keep an open mind, keep an open mind. Whatever you receive, give first, and then you shall receive. Last time I tried indie bop song, it was so cool. My sister loved it so much that she was like, she needs that song. So perhaps I will finish this and make it a little better and maybe release it. So if you missed that video, you can watch it now. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you strength and happiness and enjoyment in music. Thank you. Bye.